lesson, we'll be looking at the split, trim, and Boolean curve commands. If you'd like to follow along, please open the file named split, trim, Boolean curves in the Chapter 5 directory of your sample file folder. So the first command we'll look at is the split command. And what the split command does is allow you to take a curve and to modify it by splitting it using either other curves or control points. We can access the split command by going to either Edit and selecting Split by pressing Ctrl-Shift-S for the shortcut, or on your toolbar, the icon here is the split icon. Once we click on it, the command line is asking us to select an object to split. We're going to choose this curve here and click Enter when I am finished selecting items. I'll select this curve here. If I wanted to select more curves, I can just click and add. And if I've selected the wrong curves, remember I Control-click to deselect. Once I have all the items I'd like to split, I'll hit Enter. And now the command line is asking us to select cutting objects. And these are the objects that are going to cut this line. So we'll go ahead and click this line here. Once that's done, I can just press Enter. Now everything looks the same, but now when I click on the line, you can see that it's split in two pieces on opposite sides of this curve here. We can apply this command again. I'll select the curve, press Enter. Now for cutting objects, I'll select this curve. Even though this curve doesn't go all the way across the line, as long as it touches the line, it'll still split the line. As you can see, it's split by that one. We don't have to use just curves to split a line. We can actually split just by clicking on a control point. And go ahead and hit the spacebar to reapply the command. Command line says select object to split. I'll select this object. And now if you look at the command line, it's also saying point or iso curve. I'm going to click on point. And now I can just run my cursor anywhere along this line. So I can snap to other items. If I want to snap to this endpoint, it's going to show me where it's adjacent to that endpoint on the line. Or I can just click anywhere on this line that works for me. Now notice I can't go over to this line because we previously split them. So I can only work on this curve here. And I can click more than one place as well. I can click multiple places, and when I hit Enter, the curve will be cut up into all those pieces based on where I was just clicking. Let me go ahead and do a couple of undos to get back to where we were. So that's the split command. The trim command is somewhat similar, except with the trim command, it throws away the unwanted curve while you're working. And this can be kind of nice and a real time saver. So let's say I wanted to clean up these three lines here. I can select them, and I can go to Edit, Trim, hit Control-T for the shortcut, or click on this icon here. And the command line now is asking us to click on the object to trim. So what I want to do is click on the parts that I want to get rid of. So if I want to get rid of this line here, I would just click there. And I can go around the whole thing and do that, just deleting whatever I don't want anymore. And when that's done, I have these lines all separated and ready to be trimmed. Also, the lines don't have to be crossing like that. I can apply the command again and click here. And even though this line didn't cross over that other curve, it's still able to trim them. Let me go ahead and undo all of that. The only thing we have to be careful of with the trim command is which side of the line we're clicking on. If I go ahead and click on trim again, if I want to get rid of this part, but I click here, you can see that part disappears. You can undo right in the middle of the command, so you always have an out if you've made a mistake. And actually Control-Z will work in the middle of the command as well. Say I click those, I can just Control-Z a couple times. I'm still in the command, but I was able to undo any mistake I may have had. We don't have to do trim on just lines. We can actually do it on closed curves as well. And later on we'll look at doing it on solids and surfaces. But if we want to trim these objects here, just select them. I'll select trim. And then I can kind of clean up whatever parts I don't want. So I can go ahead and trim this up nicely here. Let me undo this. The third thing we're going to look at is the Boolean curve command. And this is kind of similar to the trim curve command. It just kind of does everything in one shot for you. So I'll select all the curves, and under the curve menu, I'll select curve Boolean. And if you look at the command line, it's saying to click inside a region to keep. So let's say I want to keep just this area here. I can just click here And the command will highlight this area with a lighter gray to let me know that's what's going to be left. If I want to get rid of all these extra curves, I need to make sure I click on Delete Input to All. And when I hit Enter, it'll get rid of everything all at once for me and join everything together. Let me undo that. Let me apply the command again. This time I'll leave Delete Input to None, and I'll click on this. Now it doesn't look any different, but what it's done is I still have my original shapes, but now it's created a new curve that is just that Boolean area. This can be kind of nice if you want to maintain all of your original curves in case you ever need to go back and edit something. Let me go ahead and undo that. I'll select these again. I'll apply the Boolean. This time I'll set Delete Input to All again, but I'll select a couple of different things this time. So I've selected all of those. I'll click Enter. It looks the same, but now we have these different sections that are all joined together into 3 pieces because of the Boolean command. The Boolean command can be used on open curves as well, like these over here. So let me just go ahead and draw some more curves. And I'll turn on the control point for this one and drag it out and extend it. So I'll just select all of these. And this time I'll select the Curve Boolean from the Curve menu. That's under Curve, Curve Edit Tools, Curve Boolean. And I'm going to click on the regions I want to keep, which let's say are this one, and this one. And I have the Delete Input set to All. So I just click Enter, and everything's deleted. And I have these nice little closed curve objects that I can build some surfaces or solids out of. And that concludes our look at the split, trim, and Boolean curve commands.